Hi, in this video I want to show you how we can quickly stack Starry Landscape images with Starry Landscape Stacker on macOS. This is a Mac only program and is available on the App Store for about $40. And there is also a companion application that is Starry Sky Stacker, which is used for deep sky astrophotography, so with images where there is no foreground, and Starry Landscape Stacker is for images like this one. This one was taken with a pocketable Sony RX100 Mark II camera. So this camera is a compact camera with 1-inch sensor type, so it's not a DSLR, and I pushed the camera to use ISO 6400, so relatively high ISO. You see that the image is very grain, but I was able to get some faint Milky Way above the horizon. So in this video I want to show you how we can do the stacking using this program in a much more efficient way than manual stack these images in Photoshop as we describe in the article. So the first things to do is to convert your images into a readable format for Starry Landscape Stacker. It is best to shoot in RAW format, so what you need to do is to use either Adobe Camera Raw or Bridge or whatever you want to convert this RAW file in 16-bit TIFF. So we have here the TIFF, and you see that they are quite heavy. This camera was 20 megapixel camera, so the TIFF file is quite large. So what we want to do now is to use Starry Landscape Stacker, and when we fire up the program, he wants to know where are the images. So I already in the proper directory, I select all the image and I say open, and the program now is importing the 10 frames. Now you see that on the image there are some dots. These red dots are points used to align the sky. So what we want to do, we can add some dots. It's useful to add some dots near the horizon, just for reference. Now look carefully if there are some dots that are on the foreground, and if you find, like here, you can delete on the van as well. So you can just paint and remove any dot that is too close or to the foreground or is on the foreground, because these dots are used to align the sky. So we can add few other dots here. So these dots are also used to mask the sky with respect to the foreground. Next, so this is what we do next. We want to find the sky. We can put some few dots here. So click on find the sky, and the program is trying to compute a mask for the sky. We can refine the mask by painting and be sure that all the sky is selected. Don't worry if you go on the foreground. Here you can paint for the ground and remove this mask here. So let's try to do a bit more clean job around the edges here. So let's say this the blue is the sky, the rest is the foreground, and now we can align the sky. So we click align with, and now we can choose which frame of reference in the image sequence we want to use. You can see here there are all the images. In this case, one image, there is no particular image that I want to choose, so what he suggests is perfectly fine with me. And we can just go on and click align with. So now all the frame will be align and compose, and now what the program is doing is align all the frame and is recomposing the image so to have the foreground sharp on top of a sky that is sharp. Now these images were collected on a fixed tripod, so the van was fixed in the frame when the stars were moving, and that's why we have to do this. We have to separate the two parts of the image and stack and blend them differently. Now you can see that already the final image is much cleaner. We have a lot of details in the sky. We can see now some nebulosity also near the light pollution dome at the horizon. And here you have different algorithms that can be chosen, and you can see in real time what is the difference. If you can choose this one, for instance, things change. So let's keep the standard mode, and now we can just simply save. And here we have the option to save also the mask for the sky, in the case we want to rework in Photoshop, for instance, the sky independently from the foreground, using the same mask that has been used in Starry Landscape Stacker. So let's go on, we do save, let's save the mask, and now we can quit Starry Landscape Stacker, and we can load the resulting TIFF in Photoshop. We can make it fit the view, and you see the image is rather clear. I can, by comparison, load in Photoshop the original, a single exposure, so we can see a bit what is the comparison. So you see here how is grainy and grainy looking and little details on the sky. Here we have much cleaner image, and we can see better the details. And now from this point on is basically you can do all the tweaking you like to do. For instance, I like to go in Camera Raw, Adobe Camera Raw, and then do there my basic tweaking like white balance and things like that. Or you can use curves here and work with layers to try to get the effect you want. So let's see. If we go on Adobe Camera Raw, we can, for instance, sample different areas to set the white balance, or we can ask to get an auto white balance. This is work quite well. The sky is still a bit too blue for my taste, so I can just warm the colors a little bit, bring a bit of magenta, like so, and then we can use a graduated filter. We can reset it, and we can use this filter to work on the sky, for instance, to darken it a bit, add contrast to the sky, use a bit the new DAs tool with a bit of clarity and some texture, and this is going to affect the sky much more than the foreground. We can see where the filter is working, so it's mostly on the sky. Then if we go here, you see that the corner there and there we have some vignetting, so we can quickly go to lens correction panel and try to remove this vignetting. We can add a bit of sharpening, a global sharpening to the image. We can even mask it. If you press the Alt key and you drag the masking cursor, you see where the areas that have been sharpened. And then we can, if you feel that is a bit too grainy or there is some noise color, you can add, well, you can reduce the color here, and you can reduce the luminance noise here, and just not overdo, otherwise you will really remove a lot of details from the image. And this is your final image, and you see how the process is very fast, and you move from an image like that from an image like that. It is very grainy, taken with a compact camera at ISO 6400, so to something that is much more cleaner with a lot of details, and it's quite a compelling starry landscape. So this is how you work with Starry Landscape Stacker for stacking the images, and then Photoshop to refine and tweak the image to the final version as you please. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you till next time.